Come in, Candy King. You out there? Got some camshafts to look at. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that want to get complicated and get all into the theory of many books have been written on fucking cams. So a guy could make a 24-hour non-stop video talking about just fucking cams and still not cover the whole story. Like all the different applications and variables that determine what specs you might need and shit. But this ain't that video. What this is 3 cam recommendations from me. They're not for everybody. They're not for most people, actually. But there's shitloads of choices out there. The thing about small block Chevys, which is what these are for, is there's been fucking millions of them built over the course of the last 58 years. A 350 small block Chevy come out 58 years ago. People start fucking with them immediately. So that's what this is targeted towards, you 350 cubic inch range small block Chevy. So if you got a 460 Ford or something, this don't apply to you. But what this is, I would call these are all solid roller cams. I would call this a street roller. This would be your street strip, and this would be more your strip bracket racer, heavy duty application, or hardcore dirt track. I don't like flat tappet cams. They motherfuckers. Shit been going on with them in the past decade or so. That got me weary of them. Back in the day, like say back in the 80s, you could just fucking order you up a comp cam 305 Magnum, throw it in your shit with the right valve springs, start that sumbitch up and take off and give it hell. What break in? Change the oil after about 500 miles and you're good. Never thought shit about it, but now you got all these rituals you gotta go through, and even then you still might fucking lose a lobe. I think it's the inferior metals made in a lot of these import lifters and shit. So I pretty much, every engine I build is roller cam, because they're much more durable. They have their problems too, but to a lesser degree. A hydraulic roller is fucking what most all your OEMs use anyway, and they go for many miles. Solid rollers are a different story though. They got lash, and even if it's fucking 20 thousandths, 25 thousandths lash, every time that lobe comes around, it's hitting the top of that valve like a fucking sledgehammer. Unbelievable force. And it's doing it thousands of times a minute. So it's beating the shit out of that shit. So solid rollers don't last near as long. They beat the shit out of the lifters. They beat the shit out of everything. The valves, the springs. Gotta be so stiff that you try to use some cheap, inferior valves. The fucking springs can try to pull the valve through the damn head. Seen it happen. Lash keep tightening up and shit. So you gotta use pretty heavy duty valves and shit to run a solid roller just to withstand the sledgehammer abuse. Small block Chevys. A lot of young bucks have this idea that 300, 325, 350 horse, that's about all you're gonna get out of a 350. You might as well go LS. Well, that's true, and it's also bullshit at the same time. I see most people building small block Chevys or having one built. I built a lot of them for other people, and they're always way too conservative on shit. You know, they want to use these Edelbrock Performer cam or a fucking 350 horse 327 cam or a Comp 268 high energy. All these little pissant fucking cams. Most of them, you know, there were factory cams that were bigger than most of them cams. And then they throw some 882 heads on there, flat top pistons, about 8.5 to 1 compression, have about 200 CFM worth of head flow. Throw their Performer intake on there and their 600 Edelbrock carburetor, and that's the build. And the motherfucker will make about 300 to 325 horse. And if you're gonna build a fucking engine from a bare block and it only makes 325, even 350 horse, wasted your time. You might as well just went and got you an LS. But not everybody worships at the altar of the LS. And some of us old fuckers know that this old shit's been making big power for many years, and it still has its place. And you can build a 350 that, you can put a turbo on your junkyard LS and it's still gonna lose against the NA 350. I've seen it happen more than once. But we'll get into these cams here. I don't build them fucking 300 horse 350s and shit. It's, you know, if you, like I said, you might as well just buy a fucking crate engine or something and stick in your shit if you're that conservative. But if you're gonna build an engine, build it to make some power. And if it's real rowdy, just have another vehicle to rely on, and then have your hot rod as a play toy. That's what I've always made sure I have, multiple vehicles just in case engines do blow up. So it's good to have something else to drive. If it's your only fucking car, you don't want to build a pro stocker out of it. But we got your baby bear, you got your mama bear, you got your daddy bear here. This is Street Roller. Specs on it are as follows: 285 advertised, 244 at 50, 567 lift, 110 lobe center, 14 thousandths valve lash, 106 center line. So 14, that's 553 net lift. So most of your fucking heads, even if you got a set of double hump heads, you look at a set of double hump heads on a flow bench, they'll keep flowing to 550 lift. So to get all you can out of, even if you got an old pair of fucking double humps or something, to get all you can out of them, you need at least a 550 lift cam. That's pretty much where I start. And then 244 at 50, that'll keep your RPM range in check. That cam will pull 6,500, 7,000 RPM. And with the right shit, you can make 500 horse with that cam. And that's an old motherfucker, actually. Now that cam's probably over 35 years old, and it's still totally fucking good unit. That's a street cam. You could drive that son of a bitch every day. It don't take crazy spring pressure. You could get by with like 175 pounds on the seat and 450, 500 open, and it would be just fine. This shit would live quite a few miles. It's hard to say really, depending on use, but it could live. And then we got your next stick here. This would be your street strip. This would be for more of your car. You keep parked under the carport and you just take it around the block and do burnouts and shit and show off for your friends and take it to the track and run some pretty good numbers. Maybe street race some Mustangs or something. But it's the street strip cam. It is 305, 310 advertised, 260, 270 at 50, 630 lift, 106 lobe center, 25 thousandths lash, 104 center line. I consider that a street strip cam. You could drive around with that, but with an automatic, you're gonna need 5,000 stall. This first one over here, you get by with a 3,000, maybe 3,500 stall. This next one, you're gonna need a 4,500 to 5,000 stall. And then we got the big bitch here. To run this in a street machine, it'd have to be pretty fucking serious. Its specs are as follows. It's a crane solid roller, 312, 322 advertised, 272, 282 at 50, 650, 641 lift, 110 lobe separation. That's advertised 4,400 to 8,200, but crane was always optimistic on that low side. I'd say this cam get started about $5,000, 5,500 maybe. And these 641 pounds open and 244 closed, spring pressure. And this cam would get you 8,500 plus RPM depending on the build, the heads and shit. So this cam gets you 6,500 to $7,000. This gets you 7,500 to $8,000. This gets you $8,000 to 8,500 plus. And with each bump stick, this you could run a 373 to 410 gear. This you would need a 456, 488. And this you're gonna need a 488 to 557. And this one here you're gonna need 5,500 plus stall. So it would be ugly trying to drive it every day. But if you're gonna build an engine, make some fucking power. I'm tired of all these LS fanboys shitting on small block Chevys. And I've been seeing small block Chevy racing engines my entire life, and I know what they can do. But them old stock small 350s out of the 70s and shit give them a bad name, even up to your 90s 200 horse TBI engines and shit. They made them look bad too. But what these fanboys don't understand is there's a lot of parts made for these things, and start utilizing them parts and that fucking horsepower go up quick. And put out some fucking torque too. Small block Chevy, an LS and a small block Chevy built equal. The small block Chevy makes more torque. That's been shown numerous times. This is your street strip, and your strip. There's thousands of fucking choices. Everybody's got their own ideas about shit. You can go through all the formulas and all the books on theory and dynamics of it all, but the thing is, there's been so many people build small block Chevys, the work has already been done. You just find a combo that makes the kind of power that you would like to have and duplicate it, and you should expect similar results. But there's my 3 picks for 350 small block Chevy cams in the real world. There they are.